This place where we are now, it can be a lot of fun if you let it. You're gonna have a good time. Welcome back to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends, and many others take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? I'm your host, Chris Compton. Let's get into our review and breakdown of Good Time from 2017.
Percy, I gotta come clean with you about something.
What?
So I told you about my brother, yeah? I told you about the program he's forced to attend and how he shouldn't be there.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Do you understand that?
No. Something happened. I don't know exactly what. My brother's been arrested. He's being held at Rikers Island. He could get killed in there.
Joining me today is reoccurring guests Cole and Taylor, longtime friends and movie enthusiasts who both worked with me when I worked as a projectionist at the movie theater years ago. Happy to have them on this week's breakdown of Good Time from 2017. The description for this one: after a botched bank robbery lands his younger brother in prison, Connie Nikas embarks on a twisted odyssey through New York City's underworld to get his brother Nick out of jail. Directed by the Safdie Bros, top-billed stars are Robert Pattinson, Benny Safdie, one of the Bros, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Runtime is 1 hour and 42 minutes, rated R. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says crime, comma, mystery, and thriller, comma, drama. It's a lot of commas and ands in that one. Although IMDb says crime, comma, drama, comma, thriller. Is that a good time? Rating from IMDb is 7.4 out of 10 from 92,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes gives us a 92% from 238 critic ratings and 81% from 5,000 plus audience reviews. On a $2 million budget, this one made a worldwide box office haul of $3.2 million. But I think it's made up some of that in its Netflix run. And speaking of Netflix, if you have Netflix, this is currently streaming there, or if you have a current library card, you can stream this on Canopy, a free library streaming service, Kanopy. Or, of course, you can rent or buy it. But before you do, let's get into the hottest, most talked about segment in podcasting. Should or shouldn't you watch this? 5 reasons why you should watch this. Number 1, if you're a fan of the Safdie brothers. Number 2, if you're a fan of Mr. Sparkleskin himself, Mr. Robert Pattinson. Number 3, if you want to feel like you have just dropped an Addy, or you love to feel high levels of stress and anxiety. Number 4, if you want to see a PSA for what not to do before, during, and after a bank robbery while your handicapped brother is with you. And last but not least, number 5, if you want to see a super tense chase scene in a low, cheap, small budget, dark Halloween spook alley, get ready to live. Some popcorn trivia on this one. All actors didn't read the script, but were given a detailed backstory of their characters and were told to improvise every scene, while Robert Pattinson and Benny Safdie had scripts, but were still told to react to the others as well as they could. And it shows. According to Josh Safdie, there was an element of Rob Pattinson that was really kind of exposing that I wanted to bring to his character. His energy, he's almost on the run all the time. He had like this Vietnam War vet quality, like he had been through something very traumatic. He's constantly trying to avoid kind of being seen all the time, which comes from his level of fame. It was like he had PTSD from that Twilight Stardom experience. I remember very specifically location scouting with Rob. We were at an off-the-beaten-path place and people started taking pictures and I saw it in his face. He went into an almost war mode in his mind. If you put duct tape on a cat, they think they're up against a wall. He kind of walks like that. He thinks everybody's watching him and he has this on-the-run quality to him. Someone who's been walking through life trying not to be seen, always slinking around. I thought that was interesting because this definitely plays into his character in this film. The title, Good Time, is prison slang. It refers to a reduction in prisoners' sentence for good behavior. According to the directors, the backstory is that Connie behaved well in prison, got released on his good time, and this is how he spends it. Buddy Duress's character, Ray, as well. People refer to it in jail as their good time, but when they leave, there are such strict rules and opportunities to get caught up, You're not having a good time when you're on your good time, but it's better than jail. This one was really interesting. Robert Pattinson lived in a basement apartment in Harlem for pre-production and the entirety of the shoot. According to Josh Safdie, all he did there was eat tuna to drop some weight, keep the shades down all the time, and sleep in the outfits Connie wore. I remember going over to his place and it was just like a bombshell had gone off. Robert Pattinson says, I didn't let anybody visit me and I didn't take the trash out or change the sheets, so the entire place just smelled like rotting fish. Ew. Cinematographer Sean Prince Williams, about the decision to shoot on 35mm, said, I have an abiding love for film and love watching films shot on film. It's a flexible, versatile recording medium that you can use to create very nostalgic or naturalistic aesthetics. But I also like to electrify the film image and colors, especially strong colors. They look great on film. And this really takes advantage of that. This film is got that cool, grainy feel to it, and I think shooting on film really enhanced this film. According to Sean Prince Williams, the premise of Good Time is simple. Two characters, one who is mentally handicapped, the other mentally unacceptable, and their inability to make a life for themselves with nothing and no one to help. But the production was far from that. It's a pretty crazy movie, and we made it in our normal Gonzo style. No marks for the actors, dark and difficult exposures, always chasing the action around. Essentially, we make production as hard as possible, and the immediacy of this punk-style filmmaking translate into an unmistakable on-screen energy. You can say that again. And last but not least, Josh Safdie about the feel of time in the film. We wanted to make a piece of entertainment that has a pulpy feel to it. The movie takes place in only one night. It's a film like a dream, like a nightmare. We wanted to make it clear where each character was at each moment. I'm so petrified of time and being reminded of time. That's why I don't wear a watch. I just like to keep moving forwards, because if you're moving forwards, you can't stop. And then once you stop, you get depressed. That's it for me. On to popcorn beefs. My beef with this one is I'm not sure anyone needs to add stress to their lives, but this for sure will do that. Take a deep breath, and let's get into this week's review of Good Time. Welcome back to another episode of the Popcorn Priest. We
just tuned our acoustics and we're good.
Yes.
The room is hot.
We just screened Good Time. It was a pick from our good friend Taylor.
Our good friend of the program, Taylor.
Yeah,
our good
friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Thanks for coming on the show with us, Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor. He has selected a film from 2017, rated R, 1 hour and 41 minutes. We've screened this on Netflix in HD. I'd still believe that the audio is compressed, and that bothers me.
We were having a debate earlier about physical versus digital usage.
Yeah, I think physical media is better, but
I agree. But that's just not the world we live in anymore.
I have no opinion either way.
Here, well, okay. Let's just read the description.
People like you have killed it.
After quiet time for a second. After spearheading an ill-fated bank robbery, a man must get his mentally challenged younger brother out of jail while eluding his own capture. Starring Robert Pattinson, Benny
Safdie,
Jennifer Jason Lee, directors Benny and Josh Safdie.
The brothers Safdie.
The brothers Safdie.
I always want to say Robert Patterson as well instead of Pattinson. I always want to pronounce his name.
I also want to say
Patterson. Robert Patterson.
Yeah, I always want to say Patterson. Robert Peterson.
That worked too. Robert Peterson.
Formerly known as
Peterson
Edward.
down the street that grows the beans in his front yard. You know.
He was a vampire, and now he'll be Batman.
He just pocketed that Twilight money and then decided to just live his truth.
Well, now he's got the Chris Nolan and Batman money he's going to be rolling in soon.
Yeah, no. His career's...
Unlike...
It's not Nolan money. Nolan's not directing that, is he?
He's in the Nolan, he's in Tenet.
Like
it's coming out this year.
Oh, he's in Tenet, too?
Yeah.
Is he?
Oh, my gosh.
He's in the trailer. He's like the dude's sidekick or whatever.
Well...
I know things.
Good Time is a very tense and taut and stressful time.
Yeah, it rules. It is from the directors of Uncut Gems, another movie that recently came out that also rules. Also carries their trademark style of filmmaking, which is very stylized, very stressful.
Very stressful. So
very very anxious feel. Is it's always you're constantly in motion.
Yeah, there's just always people shouting. You're in closed spaces.
But
The
that's the thing.
score overplays everything.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, in terms of me, I like that kind of filmmaking, like Collateral or like.
No, I dig it. I thought it was tight. Like,
you basically, I mean, you don't have a story drawn out. You have something that's quick and that's.
it's like it's not really
interested.
about the plot. It's very much about the style and like the
Well, it doesn't.
the sense of emotion, the
skips through-
tension.
Well, it skips through scenes, but at the same time, they really know their pacing. Like you don't feel like something's drawn out way too long. Like staying at the black girl's apartment or like staying at the security guard's place. Like they know kind of how to keep things moving, keep you interested.
It is insane.
Yeah, it's great. Just like Uncut Gems, which is also great.
I like Uncut Gems more, but
So I haven't.
holy moly.
I have not seen the movie, but I've heard the first 20 minutes of Uncut Gems. That makes me curious as to wonder what was going on because I'm surprised Adam Sandler didn't lose his voice from like screaming and yelling so loud in like just the first few minutes.
I saw a tweet the other day that I think it's like 4th or 5th on
It's the fifth, the most F words used in the
most
movie.
F words used in a movie.
I didn't even notice when I was watching it, so that should tell you where I'm at.
It's like
I was just like, no, this is how they talk.
it's like Wolf of Wall Street and then
Yeah, Wolf of Wall
Casino
Street.
and then like 3 of them are Scorsese
Yeah,
movies.
three more.
And then there's Uncut Gems and then there was some other film. I can't remember what the 5th one was.
Well, if you need to, it's a Friday night, long, hard work week, and you need some time to relax, this is not for you.
This is also not.
Yeah, it would be really
This isn't a feel-good movie you watch with your significant other to talk
Yeah,
about.
but it's not like a downer or anything. It's just kind of like a tense.
No,
Like
yeah.
it just feels like you're running from the cops. Like that's just kind of the mood of the whole
yeah,
film,
I'm
and it's
just
what
saying-
it feels like while you're watching. Is you're like the cops are gonna catch me, and there's consequences. I did something wrong.
How am I going to get out of it now? Probably not.
All I'll say is this movie wouldn't have had to be made if you just didn't do illegal activity.
Yeah, no, if you just didn't break the law and do crimes.
If you just made
None of this movie had to happen.
if you just did what your mother told you and made good choices, you wouldn't
Yeah.
be
You just go to school, you
searching
study.
for acid in a theme park at night.
In a weird, crazy, trippy theme
Yeah.
park.
That's probably a set of that looks like it's from the set of a horror movie.
It looked great.
Like,
I mean,
I
given-
can't believe that would exist in real life.
I could see something like that. No,
I
like,
totally could.
like in New York, especially, like there's probably all sorts of weird novelty stuff. That
Where you've got
there's
millions of
enough
people
people, enough
together.
people that you're going to be able to get like a subset
Okay.
that like weird horror stuff and are willing to pay.
I mean, like I should show you the video from the other night because I went up to the Stratosphere in Vegas, and you should have seen how many police helicopters were circling the sky just in Vegas for God knows what reason. But there was at least 4 of them. 2 of them had spotlights over by the Luxor. So I mean, in Vegas on what was probably a Tuesday or Wednesday, I mean, when you need police helicopters for a certain situation, I can only imagine that the time I spent in New York was 10 times as bad. The police sirens never stop. Like even if it's 3 in the
It's
morning,
always happening.
it's it
But
literally
like the idea of like evading the cops in like a city like that, just that premise alone, like gets me all nervous and like anxious. It's like I wouldn't know what to do.
that's what amazing. I watch shows like
Apparently he didn't either. He's like, well, let's do this now.
I feel like he made a good. I think he did.
see, and that's the other thing. Considering how wooden Pattinson really like is in some of the movies, this is the one time I haven't hated him because he was actually like.
No, I didn't hate him in the Lighthouse either. He's
I have
like
not seen
it's really more just kind of like he was
But-
in those really bad movies, and
Like
then he just decided to do all these. He
True.
got all these directors to like him.
He put his,
Yeah, he's like,
he's a
listen, I
non-crazy
really
shy
can't
It's
do
like I
something
really
different.
want to be good.
Well, no, I mean it's shy without the craziness.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Just
But I
kinda
mean, I like that stupid the show where he winds up the romantic show where he winds up being part of the Twin Tower attacks, or
Yeah, no, that one came out during the Twilight era. I was thinking of that one.
it's just
That one's incredible.
he's made some
Remember Me?
interesting film choices where you're just kind of like, what in the hell? What happened?
That
to this dude?
reveal of the two towers is such a great moment in cinematic history.
Weird.
That's the most cringy pullback of any shot I've ever seen. I'm just like,
It's so incredible. It's so incredible that they did that, put that in a movie. Closer to 9/11 than it is now, and it'd be offensive now.
That's very true.
It's really bad.
And it was only like 8 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Good acting, good directing. Keeps on the
Yeah,
edge
not
of your
much
seat.
of a plot to really like. It's not slow, but that's not the point.
But,
so it's not
yeah.
like it's like a really like richly plotted labyrinth.
there's
Well,
never
and-
really like acts and like the building up to some
Yeah, no, it's-
final act. It's just it just keeps going.
Yeah, it's just
until
kind of
it's
like
over.
a frantic scramble. Like, and yeah, it keeps you interested because you never know what's going to happen.
It's if you like that stuff, it's gonna be right up your alley, and you really like it.
Yeah, if you like those Twilight movies, watch this.
Nope, you won't like it. If you like Twilight, you should not watch this.
You should watch this.
As
You
a
should see Robert Pattinson, and he's in this movie too.
He is in this movie,
If you're
and his hair sparkles just like Edward's.
Yeah, it does.
if you're a fine purveyor of the illegal arts and how to avoid them, and also Robert Pattinson, then yes, this movie is for you.
Anyway, I give it a
people-
golden bucket.
And LeBron James, he looks bright.
Billion stars. It rules. It's just so rad. Like it's like the soundtrack.
Soundtrack is amazing. There's a couple of spots where like the highs were just like tinkling.
Yeah,
at the
no,
top,
it's
sprinkling around. It's really
just
cool.
oozes style. Like the lighting in it, just everything just feels so like grungy. It made I want to like get involved in some like seedy city crime. That's what it made me want to be.
Should we go deal
Let's
acid?
go do crimes.
Let's go deal acid. We can go do that. I can find some people.
What do you give it, Cole?
I say 3.5 out of 4.
3.5 out of 4, huh?
He's on his phone the whole time, so that's where that other half is.
There's so many emails going on right now. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It would have been a 4 if he'd been paying attention, but it's okay.
I
A
think-
3.5 is
it's either a
suitable.
phone or his slumber.
I paid enough attention to give it a valid rating where I feel that I had not cheated myself out of a good cinematic experience. Thank you very much. I have learned to split my eyes in two like a chameleon so I can do two things at once.
That is a
I
falsehood.
just do it in the dark so you guys can't tell because it'll creep you the hell out.
Well, there you have it. 3.5 stars, 1,000 stars, and a golden bucket.
I think I'm pretty sure I gave it a million billion stars.
I love how reliable our rating system is where we tell people not to watch it for certain circumstances, but it's 1,000 stars. So it's like, how do you judge when the perfect
This
circumstances
is a 5-bagger. Yeah.
So I love this movie a lot, but don't watch it because there's
Well,
no situation you're going to
I'm
find
just
yourself.
trying to let people know if they're into certain things, they should stay away. But
If you're down for a good time, check out Good Time.
good time.
That was the world's cheapest shot of soundbite, and I love it.
With that, I think we'll say goodbye and we'll see you next time.
As always, hit me up on the Twitters or the Instas if you want to interact with the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I respond to every tweet, post, comment, hashtag, and whatever else there is. Let us know if there's something you'd like us to review. Also, if you've enjoyed this or any of our previous episodes, please subscribe so you can get notifications on our newest episodes. And share it with one of your movie lover friends. They're going to like it. I guarantee it. Much appreciated. Next week, if you want to be ready for our newest breakdown, we'll be reviewing a Netflix joint, The King, from 2019 with a special guest from Brazil. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, and for Cole and Taylor, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.